All right, welcome to Brake Check. I'm Brian, and this is Richard from Lexus.
Yep, Richard Hollingsworth from Lexus Product Marketing, yes.
Thanks for being with us today, we appreciate that. And this is the IS 500, a very special car. This is one of how many exist right now?
So there's only 2 right now in the country now. So we have our standard one that we revealed on February 22nd, the red one you had seen out there, and then at the Sebring race on March 19th, we introduced that we're going to do this launch edition. So there's only going to be 500 total of this one for North America. So this we have a launch edition right
extra special, this one
yes,
here.
very much so.
Got it. So for the people that don't know, the IS 350 is out, right?
Yes.
It's been out for a while, great car. What is special about this in comparison? What's the biggest difference?
So, like I said, the IS 350 for 2021 is brand new to the market. Like I said, for the IS being 20 years in our Lexus lineup. So, what we found out from our market is that customers are still wanting some more performance. So, the 350 is a great performance vehicle, but they want the next level, but maybe not a full-blown F model. So, we introduced the IS 500, and this is the first model that's going to be under the IS 500 F Sport Performance brand. So, you can see with this badging on the side, it has black badging. So, this is going to be the debut model of it. So it's going to be those who want more power, a little more better brakes, but not have to go full-blown track at the moment here. It's just more of that performance-oriented one. So we're very excited for that.
So you already had the RCF track edition. So this would be considered a level under that in terms of track performance.
Correct. Yeah. So we'll say it's been more of what we're calling, based off our market, more competitively mid-performance segment that we're looking at. So it's more of the sweet spot in the segment. So against our competitors from our German competitors, such as the M340, Audi S4s. So this is where the IS 500 is going to compete against that mid-performance segment.
Yep. So primary competitions: Audi S4, BMW
340i, and even the Mercedes C43s.
C43s. Okay.
Because you're right, we have the Big Brother F models that we've had in the past. So yeah, this one's the new sweet spot between the S Sports that you see on the 350s and the RCF track editions. Correct.
Okay, that's cool. So the F Sport brand in of itself is new as well, right?
Yeah,
so it's not just this car. That's a
so the debut. So the F Sport Performance brand is definitely brand new. We'll launch with this vehicle, so it's definitely the black badging is the key. That you'll see on the side, and then when you open the doors, you'll see the door seal, and at the base of the steering wheel will be the 3 areas that will be there. So the customer will know, besides saying IS 500 on the back, the badging will give it away as well. So
so I've got a mild engineering question for you. So this is a new chassis, correct, for the IS?
It's been updated. The platform has been updated.
The platform is updated.
So the width got longer. The track got about 2 inches wider in the back, and more overall. It was it's the first vehicle that was test tracked at the new Shimoyama test track. So the Lexus driving signature, this is the debut model of the IS. So this is taking it to the next level by adding a power plant, Yamaha rear performance dampener. So it's definitely there. Yep.
Okay, and I want to get to performance in a minute.
Yeah.
In terms of the platform, was the V8 in mind when this platform change came into play? Because obviously there's going to be a packaging variance, right?
True. There was a lot of power options that we looked at. Like I said, we understand with the current turbos and the V6s. I think there was always that wish list that we had. So working with our executive team and working with TMC together to understand that, hey, there's still a market for a high-performance engine in the vehicles as is known by the RCF and our other vehicles. And it was there. I can't say from the beginning, but definitely has been a work in progress. So definitely, and once it became, as you can see, as one of the indicators is to get that V8 in here, the hood has definitely been raised 2 inches, and you can see that unique bulge right there.
I was wondering if this was on purpose or if it was just styling cue, but that's there for a reason.
So they had to raise it 2 inches, and then they moved the radiator forward, so the overhang is about 2 inches longer as well. So we introduced, when we're talking to TMC, and we were talking about cowls and hoods, it's like you need to give it a bug like the old muscle cars to give that, hey, this is going to be different from a 350 model. So yes, the bulge is functional for sure.
Okay, well, can we pop the hood and look at it?
Oh yes, by all means.
There we go.
There it is.
Look at that.
Keeping it shiny, keeping the weight distribution as best as possible, of course, so yep.
So I'm looking at it, and it's actually, from where I'm standing, the front of the engine is parallel with about the front of the wheel itself.
Approximately, yes.
Approximately. So it's not, Audis are often in front of the front axle. So being a non-quattro all-wheel drive setup, you can actually get this thing back where it
so like I said, but that's like I said, the unique balance, like I said, when we took it to the Lexus driving signature in the balance, they felt that this is just the right placement of the vehicle for this amount of power with the rear performance dampeners we can talk about, but it's just a well balanced for this platform for the IS, correct?
So give us a little bit of history on this engine. I mean, the Lexus V8 has been out for a while. We love it, honestly.
Yes.
We're really happy to see a non-turbo application in the market because, like you said a minute ago, trends are boost, boost, boost.
Correct.
We see it all the time. Nothing against that. There's something incredible about it, but there's an experience of an NA motor that this has captured and kept.
Yes.
That even in the domestic market, I think of the great V8s. This is up there with them. You've got the Coyote Ford-based engine and the LS engine. This and the Coyote are the more special feeling engines to me. being dual overhead cam gives that impression. Clearly, there's someone in Lexus that understands that too,
Yes,
and wants to keep that. Is that something that y'all foresee being able to maintain for the short-term future at least, or do you think there's going to be a trend where we go past big displacement engines?
we believe definitely for the foreseeable future, the V8 is still
Okay.
going to be part of the family. And you're right, from the beginning when the introduction of the ISF in 2008, 416 horses was a big amount.
Yeah.
This evolution of this engine, now we're up to 472,
Okay.
applications in LC and RCF, as you stated before. So they understand that. We understand we have different powertrains that we have in our future with hybrid technology and
Sure.
but there is just that feel of that V8 American power, if you will, that we can put out there. And that's been with the feedback we got from the reveal, it's almost been 100% positive. And the main thing was that this is a V8 that's still available based off the segments that everything is going the other way. So it is great just to have the look, the sound of it, of course.
Right.
But like I said, just knowing that there's that power plant just sitting under and it's just naturally aspirated, correct.
Well, I think of also back to the LS400 and the 1UZ V8. There, we say American V8, but there is Lexus history of having a V8. So it's not like you woke up one day and said, well, let's try and compete with that. Well, no, you've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Is there anything unique between this engine and the RCF?
No, like I said, they are approximately the same horsepower, 470, same 395 pounds of torque. It uses the same 8-speed transmission as the RCF might. So we have all of that together, exactly, yeah. So,
okay. So in terms of transmission, you said 8-speed. Is this an in-house designed transmission, or is this a outsourced to ACEN? Or
no, my understanding is all in-house, yeah. So everything's been with RCF, yeah. So they try to use as much elements they could from the RCF to a point, but balance it out with some of not the full-blown track elements, but also the performance elements, because we understand you want the brakes to make sure the stopping power for something this
So let's
powerful.
talk about that. Let's come over here and look at brakes. What are we working with?
So with the standard IS350, they have a great packaging on the vehicle themselves with the S-Sport, even with the dynamic handling. So with the IS500, the fronts and the rears have been increased an inch. So the fronts are 14 inches, and the backs are 12.7s. So like I said, they definitely want that stopping power for sure. And then like I said, with this one, because enhanced stability and rigidity, they also have the rear performance dampeners from Yamaha, developed them from the back to balance out the vehicle itself here. So definitely got the brakes, engine, and suspension.
So you mentioned Yamaha dampers. Yamaha worked with y'all all around all four corners, or is that
the rear in particular is where we have the rear damper. The front ones are still fine, but like I said, they haven't really changed in the modifications. The rear in particular, for when you're going into the corners for high beat stability, but at low speeds you just have that nice feel of the ride as well.
So obviously it's a dynamic damper. So what kind of technology is in there? Is it valving that adjusts, or?
I believe that is the case. Like I said, it's using the same dynamic handling package that we have from the third, and then we brought that up. So that I should have started with that. The IS500 itself it's based off the dynamic handling package from the 350, and then we've increased power plant, brake size,
tweak
suspension.
The rear to make it work.
Because the actual standard is a torsion limited slip, the adaptive variable suspension standard to the vehicle as well. Yep.
Which is very important. So, and most important with the V8, what kind of exhaust are we dealing with? Do we have tips? Are they fake tips? Are they?
No, it's the iconic one. Like I said, you were seeing it right there. So it is inspired.
So it's the quads, right?
Quads.
It's the stacked at an angle.
Inspired definitely by our RCF, correct.
Okay, fantastic.
Yep. Can we revise the diffuser a little just so they can do a little more increase with the air? But
okay.
Go ahead, yours.
I was gonna say, can we hear it?
Start her up I'll give you the privilege if you like there, sir.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
This is certainly a first for me.
Yes. And do not be shy, by all means.
Okay.
There you go. And even in just putting it in drive, and then just the idling part, usually is pretty well. So it just wants to just like you're at the light,
right?
So yeah. So even when you're in a drive-through, it's just you just know there's some business happening there for sure. So
there's presence for sure.
Yes, for sure, exactly.
Which is really nice.
Yeah.
And beyond that, it's everything we've come to expect.
Correct. So like I said, the RPM, like I said, and if you turn it off again and then start it back up, you can see just one of the unique features about the vehicle. It'll be at the startup, it's an IS500. In this case, it's the launch edition. So on the menu right there.
Yeah, it's all say launch right there.
Yep. So on the regular standard IS500, it'll say IS500, but because it's unique for the IS500.
Let's get that real quick.
Yeah, by all means. Yep. And then in this one as well, because this is the launch edition, Okay, so as long as on the in front of the shifter right there is going to be the serialized plate. So it'll be that one's. This is a prototype, so it's 000.
So it's zero. So
we'll have
it's
500
actually
of those, mate. Yep.
0 of 500. That's impressive.
Yes.
Now I'll see the tach as it warms up. It's increasing the red line, right?
Yeah. Correct.
So it's checking oil temp and it's letting it come up. What a sound. So one of my favorite things of this motor that you have in here is not only does it sound good with the exhaust, we've talked about that a little bit, the induction sound is nothing like some of its competition. I think back to the 4-liter BMW M3, it reminds me of that. Some of the Coyote V8s, Ford platform V8 sound like that. But it's something you don't find very often. And induction sound is really important to the driver and to me. More important than exhaust note. I love that you've kept that.
Yes.
So, Richard, thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
More welcome,
and we're excited for this to hit the market.
Very true. Yep, just coming this fall. You'll be good to go.
Love it.
See you at Lexus dealer.
All right.
All right, thank you.